ти та, яка завжди вірила. Я іноді сумнівався, а ти вірила. Я нікому не скажу. Тобі тільки скажу. Я не втомився. Просто дихання збивається іноді, бо скучаю за тобою. І до цього дихання збивається. One. Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And walk back. Лонче зробіть. Ха! 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 Ха!
The work, the preparation, the long days in the gym. For months now, that's exactly where I've been. But this is where it changes. Another morning in paradise. Oh, the drive and dedication just comes from being the best version of me and just keep challenging myself in whatever way possible on the highest level. And that's what we're gonna do, because I can become boxing world champion, because this belt, the WBC belt, has been held by Muhammad Ali, by Mike Tyson, and in a couple of months, Rico Verhoeven is going to be added to that list.
Under the shadows of the pyramids, Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven are about to turn history into a fight the world will never forget. They look fully locked in, pushing themselves to the limit for the biggest showdown of their careers.
Even if we have rest, we stand. We don't need a rest. We'll keep going.
For Oleksandr, this could look like an easy payday, but the energy and focus he is showing in camp tell a different story. He is pushing beyond his limits out of pure love and commitment to boxing.
One. Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam.
From lifting heavy machines to training non-stop, Usyk is pushing himself like never before to reach peak strength and conditioning.
Давай, дальше новый. Пошел. Бам, выше его. Да.
Stand legs. Okay.
From Rico's camp, the energy is electric. He knows the rounds will be tough in boxing, but he is determined to keep pushing through.
No, not really. Oh my God, these 12 rounds, they are killing. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Keep putting in the work. Keep putting in the work. Keep putting in the work.
To sharpen his conditioning and physique, Verhoeven is bringing his own kicking-based techniques into training, and he believes it could have an impact on Usyk.
He put up the weights again. He thinks I don't know, but I know.
5, 6.
Having fun. Another day of work. Second training of the day. We're still pushing it, still giving it all. Aas,
8,
aas, 9, aas, 10, aas, 2, aas, 1, aas. This is fun.
And Usyk, he is turning himself into a beast by using heavy weightlifting techniques, making sure that when he steps in the ring with Verhoeven, he is not easy to break.
Good leg, fly.
While both fighters stay locked in, the matchup is facing criticism, and one of the loudest voices is Wade Clements. He compared it to something only Donald Trump would enjoy, making his stance very clear. Wade believes Rico has almost no chance, predicting either a knockout loss or a failed upset attempt. For him, the entire idea of this fight feels like a complete joke, and he did not hold back from mocking it.
Because what probably is going to happen is either Usyk's going to stop him, or they're going to go the distance, and Usyk's going to win an easy decision. But the fact that Jason Statham had enough pull with Turki Al-Sheikh to get this fight to be made, and then Mauricio Suleiman salivating at the opportunity to make his 3% freaking belt fee, his sanctioning fee, decided to throw up the WBC belt for it, is insane. That's how we got here, dude. This is like Donald Trump asking Dana White to put a fight on the White House card for the belt. Trump did ask Dana White to put a fight on the White House card, but it was an undercard fight that would just be fun for the fans. This is like if Trump was like, hey, Dana, you know what would be a good fight for that heavyweight belt? There was a fighter one time, his name was Habib Nurmagomedov. I think that's how he said his name.
And the most frustrating part for Wade is the WBC putting Usyk's belt on the line. He also pointed out that Rico first tried to schedule a fight with Anthony Joshua, and Clemens feels that would have made more sense since Joshua currently holds no belt. He even added that a fight between Tyson Fury and Verhoeven would have felt more logical because Fury is also without a belt right now. Wade further noted Fury's loss to Francis Ngannou, saying Verhoeven versus Fury clash would still make more sense than this matchup.
That I would have been fully in support of. If it was supposed to be Anthony Joshua first, I'd have been in full support of it. Because AJ doesn't have a belt. And that's a fun kind of like wacky matchup. If it was even going to be Tyson Fury, I'd have been like, you know what? That kind of makes sense. Tyson don't have a belt later on in his career. And Tyson got dropped by Francis Ngannou, so there's at least the potential in your mind of going, you know, Tyson may get hit with something here. Name any other heavyweight that isn't the champion of the world that would want to do something like this, and I'd be fine with it. But making this versus Usyk for the belt is just bleh. If Rico wins, I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh so hard at the sport of boxing if Rico wins. Because you get what you deserve if he comes in and starches the best you got in the world. And then the sport has to go, yeah, we are not the sport we thought we were. Boxing at that division is actually very easy.
The world is in disbelief over Rico's chances, but he insists his size advantage will help him finish the job against Usyk. Wade, reflecting on the situation, reminds Rico that Usyk has already faced much bigger heavyweight opponents like Derek Chisora, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, and Daniel Dubois. In every one of those fights, Oleksandr Usyk managed to overcome the size difference. Wade argues that Rico's clean punches and weight advantage may not matter at all, and the result could be terrifying for him.
In all reality, that should happen. If Rico lands clean, the best shot he could ever throw in his life, then yeah, Usyk should probably go down. The problem is Usyk has fought some of the bigger heavyweights in a giant heavyweight era, right? Dubois is 260. Joshua was 250 or 240. Fury was 260, 270. And I don't know what Chisora was, but all these guys were giants. And the fact that Usyk was smaller and more compact and in better shape, with better feet, better IQ, boxing, etc., he took advantage of it. He took advantage of the bigger fighter every single time. What do you think he's going to do to Rico Verhoeven, a guy in his first boxing match?
Rico, on the other hand, seems unfazed by all the warnings and even grows more confident. But beneath it all, the fear in Verhoeven's eyes shows how complicated he feels stepping into the ring with Usyk. Despite claiming he is a natural heavyweight with a size advantage, he knows the real problem standing in front of him. In a shocking interview, Rico even admits he is planning to throw high kicks in this fight, something he is not supposed to do.
He's a cruiserweight that came up to heavyweight. So, and I was 16, I was weighing 100 kilos. So I could never drop down to cruiser because I'm just too big. He's one of the best to ever done it. Technical, a perfect, kind human being. So no, I love it. If everything goes south, I'll just throw a high kick in the 8th or 9th round. It's logical because they do not know me. They do not know the story. They do not know who I am. So it's up to me to give them a little bit of context, like what I've done within the kickboxing sport. The WBC also has a Muay Thai kickboxing division, so they understand my credentials, and that's how this fight came about.
He doesn't stop there. Rico insists that the WBC already knows his credentials and that throwing high kicks would be completely logical in his approach. Verhoeven says he is coming to bring a lot of surprises inside the ring. He even sends out a bold warning, stressing that Usyk better be ready for a real fight. Rico claims he is fully prepared to shock the world and believes Oleksandr Usyk could end up losing his belts if things go his way.
That's how they sanctioned it. And then again, they can still be critical, but it's not up to me. It's just like, I take it as it comes.
With such a statement, it is clear that Rico has not fully mastered his boxing skills yet, despite claiming to have the same IQ as Peter Fury, and that is why he is insisting on relying on his kickboxing angles, something Wade strongly dislikes. He highlights that Rico must understand he is not allowed to use such tactics in the ring, since this is not a kickboxing match. Even if he tries, Plemons predicts Usyk will easily evade him and use boxing angles Verhoeven is not prepared for and has never faced in his career. According to Wade, this is an easy win for Usyk, and the world will witness a masterclass before rightful contenders like Agat Kabayel, Moses Itelma, or Fabio Wardley step up against Oleksandr.
He said he's going to bring kickboxing angles. What the is that supposed to mean? You can only punch in this fight. You try to punch from kickboxing angle? What, like an overhand? You're going to your distance. Usyk's going to walk through that, or underneath that, or slide to the other side of that, and use his boxing angles in a boxing match to hit you with stuff that you haven't seen. So, yeah, I think that Rico's probably going to get outboxed very easily here. Like I said, if he does land the massive knockout punch, if he does in some way catch Usyk off guard and put him down, or even put him out and wins the belt, then I'll laugh, because that's exactly what boxing gets. But if not, it'll probably be a Usyk masterclass, like we all think. And we move on to Usyk hopefully fighting one of these young contenders, at least one of them, Fabio Wardley, Agat Kabayel, somebody, Moses Italma maybe.
Making his stance clear, Fabio Wardley has recently revealed his plans after beating Daniel Dubois, saying he is targeting Oleksandr Usyk and that this is the fight he is eagerly waiting for. As for Rico getting a title shot without even being ranked, Wardley finds it bizarre and completely unacceptable, calling it an insult to boxing. He criticizes not only the Usyk versus Rico fight, but claims the WBC is misleading the fundamentals of boxing for their own preferences.
What is the plan then? Is it to call out Usyk in the ring?
Yeah, that'll be the first name off my lips once my hand is raised, don't get me wrong. And look, hopefully he gets through his fight, comes through pretty well, pretty comfy, and then we can really start negotiations after that.
What do you make of the WBC putting the title on the line for Usyk and Rico Verhoeven?
Yeah, I don't approve. Where is he ranked? Is he ranked at all? How is an entirely unranked fighter able to fight for a world title? Because because this is boxing, by the way, and also heavyweight boxing, so any freak thing could happen. And then suddenly we can have Rico Verhoeven as the WBC world champion, and everyone's looking around going, how the hell?
As for Oleksandr Usyk, he has already shut down critics with dominant wins over Daniel Dubois and Tyson Fury, proving his elite level on the biggest stage. Many believe his sharp technique and ring intelligence will be far too much for Rico Verhoeven to handle. Usyk's movement, timing, and accuracy could start breaking Rico down from the opening bell. If the pace goes his way, this fight may not stretch beyond 3 or 4 rounds before Oleksandr Usyk takes full control and closes it out.
Now, we saw Tyson Fury almost lose to Ngannou. That would have been embarrassing. He clearly didn't train for the fight, right? We saw Anthony Joshua go a bunch of rounds with Jake Paul. And like, if it was Anthony Joshua fighting Verhoeven, I might say, let's see. It's Usyk, Mike. Yeah. It's Usyk. What do you think of the fight?
Yeah, and it was originally looking like it was going to be Joshua and Verhoeven. And that was before Joshua fought Jake Paul and decided he didn't want to do another training camp so soon after. This is even before, you know, he had that tragic car accident. But look, I think it's interesting, and I obviously, Max, as you like to say, we know who we work for, right? But this is a spectacle. And Usyk, like Chris said, if anybody deserves a fight where they don't have to fight the very best, it's Usyk. He's going to take a fun fight. This isn't a wrestler. He's fighting a guy that knows how to stand up. No one's suggesting that Usyk's going to lose this fight.
But tension rose sharply when analysts reacted to Rico's chilling promise to knock Oleksandr's head clean off, a bold statement from a fighter known for ending bouts early over the past 14 years. Verhoeven's confidence added serious heat to the build-up, as he spoke with full belief in his finishing ability. The comments sparked debate across the boxing world, with many questioning how such aggression will translate against someone of Usyk's technical mastery and ring intelligence.
In as much or as little detail as you're going to, from the first bell, what are you going to do?
Knock his head off. That's what I'm going to do. I'm, like I said, I'm like 55 pounds heavier. Yeah. So as soon as I hit him, it's going to be something different.
You're going to knock his head off?
Of course.
I think he's only been knocked down once. He's never been knocked, and that was a low blow. He's never been knocked down. You're going to have to go some, Rico.
Oh, what an opportunity I have here. I'm going to shock the world in front of the pyramids in this crazy scene. It's like, oh my God, I love it. I love it. That's why I'm so excited.
In response, Hamza Shiraz brushed off Verhoeven's warning as pure delusional trash talk, showing no respect for the claim. He made it clear that once real boxing pressure comes in, things will look very different. Shiraz confidently predicted that Verhoeven will not leave the fight on his own feet and could be completely overwhelmed the moment a clean punch lands. In his view, the gap in boxing experience will be too much for Rico to handle against elite-level opposition.
Listen, I think he's going to get absolutely ironed out. That's the truth, but I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you're fighting Oleksandr Usyk, you know what I mean? Someone who's beat Joshua, beat Fury, not only once, but twice. And it's too much of an ask, you know what I mean? He has got a puncher's chance, we all have, but whether that chance will actually come to fruition, I don't really think it will.
Both fighters are fully locked in, training hard and refusing to take a step back in preparation for this massive showdown. Oleksandr Usyk is sharpening every detail of his boxing craft, while Rico Verhoeven is pushing his strength and aggression to the edge. Tension keeps building as confidence rises on both sides, but in the end, everything comes down to fight night. Only when they step into the ring will the true outcome of this clash finally be revealed.
He's been doing easy touch, hasn't he, for a while.
Oh, he fought you.
I don't want to say he's an easy touch. I think it'll be really interesting for about 6 or 7 minutes. I think 1 or 2 rounds, and then I think once he figures him out, because he's going to be an absolute nightmare to prepare for. He's going to be throwing punches from all kinds of mad angles. He's going to be doing things that he should never be doing. He'll be really awkward, really crazy for the first few rounds, and then I think he'll figure him out, and then he'll punish him.
Does Rico Verhoeven have any shot to beat Oleksandr Usyk in this fight?
No. If it was Anthony Joshua, I would be like, yeah, maybe. Usyk, no. He doesn't get hit. And you're taking away some of his main weapons. It's kickboxing. You're taking away half of his weapons. So, and he's not a big puncher. Yes, he's a big guy. He's a very big guy. He's tall, he's big, he's heavy. He's gonna have the size advantage for sure on Usyk. He's super tough and scrappy and tricky, all of that. But it's Oleksandr Usyk. If it was anybody else, I would be like, yeah, there's a shot. It's heavyweights. Anything can happen. One punch is one punch in the heavyweight division. But it's Usyk. The guy is a wizard.
And that's where things stand right now. 2 champions, 2 different worlds, and one massive collision waiting to happen under the Giza spotlight. All the talk, the warnings, and the confidence will mean nothing once the bell rings and the real fight begins. Now the question is simple. Who do you think walks out on top? Usyk or Verhoeven? Drop your prediction in the comments, like the video, and subscribe for more fight breakdowns like this.